23:35 hours, 100 hours on the 9th of the 4th, 2022. So this will be my third entry, so log number 3. I didn't do one yesterday. I was a little tired and not much really happened yesterday except for a bit of business plan work. Still drafting, if anything. I'm much closer to getting it all done. Just a little bit more research, but I've already pretty much gone through all the templates, rewritten everything more to what my business plan is going to be. So it's pretty much, I'll have like all the materials ready. Not materials, how do I say this? I've got every point almost ready to write down and construct the actual business plan. So yeah, that's all I really did yesterday. Today, different story. So like I said, I was going to meet with that family member, and yes, I did. And things went well. They agreed. I pretty much, in a sense, had to pitch my enterprise idea. At first, they were skeptical. At first, they were just like, oh, that, it's going to be like this. Give me the typical warnings, they're like, oh, are you sure? The uncertainties. But the more we talked about it, the more they asked me, like, what about this? What about that? The more they saw, wow, that I've actually really been spending time thinking and working out and trying to see how everything's going to work out. And then by the time I was explaining more and more, the family member realized, you know what? This sounds like it's going to work. This is good. And you really thought out how you're going to play your moves and, what you need to do. And then I kept emphasizing the point to him is like, look, even though, I got to think more about the plan and all that, and I got to put more energy into, getting ready for this and that. I told him the only thing that matters to me right now is that first hurdle, which is locking down the lease of the premises I want. And yeah, they agreed. They're like, yeah, because we all know, everyone would know, what does it matter if I can't even get through the first hurdle, I gotta conquer what's in front of me first, I'm gonna take it, do the steps I need to do. I'm ready for the next steps, or I will be prepared. I'm prepared for anything, really. I'm that type of person, I'm adaptive. Whatever something's in front of me, I gotta shape myself to be able to engage with whatever the issue is in front of me and find a solution. So as meeting up with this family member it was me finding a solution. If they didn't agree, of course, I was just going to find someone else that could help me, let's say, join in the lease or be my guarantor, maybe take the lease for me, which is a big commitment, really, especially because, it's a commercial business, a commercial premises, especially close to the city, in the area I'm from. It's a fringe suburb. It's a fringe suburb. That's where the premises is. And so, lease terms will usually go for about 3-4 years. So it's not just like a 1-year thing and then, oh, that's it. Yeah, it's 3 to 4 years. So that's a big commitment to ask anyone to put their name in, because, if things go wrong, they could be liable for any of the damages. Like, they could put the assets at risk, put themselves in a debt that they don't want, which I can cover, of course, because I'll get funds when I need them. If I need something, I'll get it if I really have to. Just like what I'm doing right now. I'm getting the tool I need, the resource I need to help me lock down this lease, which is a bit of support from someone in a more civilization considered status. Did I say that right? I need someone with a good record. pretty much, and especially a good financial record, good financial capabilities. And I also need that person to be willing to, you know, maybe take a slight burden by bearing their name on it. Because in the end, I can guarantee them that, hey, if anything goes wrong, I will cover it. I'll take all the responsibility. But it's still their name that will be part of the contract. And that's the risky thing, That's where fear comes in. It's not as simple as like, we'll ride or die, whatever, I'll do whatever for you. I wish it was that simple because, I grew up being like that. And, me and my peoples, we'll ride or die for each other. And like we really think about it. But when we make a decision, we don't just make a half. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But no. When we finally decide to do something, we know we got to go all in. But of course, my family members are a bit different. Everyone's a bit different. Not everyone grew up being a warrior. Not saying that they're not warriors. This family member is definitely a warrior, just a different style. Yeah. But hey, he felt more confidence the more I explained, and then the more we talked about it. He eventually discovered that, I'm not just doing this off a whim. Well, I am doing this off a whim, but at the same time, it's something I've really been thinking through, and I'm serious about it. He knows that I want to take complete responsibility for it, and that I'm willing to give it my all, because I'm at this point in my life where it's time to make something happen. It's time to paint these pictures that I know I should be painting. As an artist, I need to really get this work done, not just play around with, short doodles, just doodling here and there, just little scrap sketches or anything. No, now it's time to create a true opus, and I will. And I am looking for those who will join me on the battlefield, or will at least stand behind me as I take the front. Because that's essentially what I need them for. When I go and parlay with the real estate agent and the owner of the premises where we parlay, I just need, some recognizable status standing behind me as I make my terms and my propositions, and we eventually negotiate and compromise on what can work. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure the owner just wants guarantee that someone's gonna pay him money, and they're in a position to pay that money, which I am. It's just, I gotta make it seem like that on paper. And I need to reassure the owner that the folks supporting me from behind, they'll cover anything in case I miss a step. Which they don't need to actually cover anything, because I'm going to take the complete burden. But as long as we convince the owner that they're there too. So in the end, in a sense, those behind me, my family members, they're there for show. But of course they're there for support as well, which is just as important. When you have supportive people around you, it really makes a difference as to what kind of moves you can make. I know there's a lot of hard exceptions out there, especially the really successful people, and they always claim like, oh, nah, you got to do everything on your own. Everything has to be on your own, blah, blah, blah. You have to be completely independent. Yeah, but at the same time, I think they say that kind of poetically and in a way to make them seem like so independent. But in the end, greatness comes when people help, because they're not doing everything alone, and they're not shouldering every single little piece of work that needs to be done on their own. No, they have people to help them succeed. They allocate specific tasks, jobs for people that are better to do it. Yeah, they whether they accept it or not, they create a team that helps them achieve things. It'll be like, having a banker sorting out and keeping hold of your finances, or I don't know, that's not a good example. A real estate agent helping me parlay with the owner, maybe that's a better example. Whatever. I think I lost the thought of how to explain this point properly. But no matter. Yeah, we had a talk. We had a catch up as well because it'd been a long while. And I think my family okay, it's my brother. I think my brother finally got to see the real side of me, because in growing up with my brothers and such, I've always treated them with that respect that they are my seniors, and I'll never disrespect them in that way where they're not my seniors. I'll always treat them with that regard, like, hey, you're older than me, so I have to, revere you and treat you a certain way, talk to you in a certain way, and I'll never try to overstep my position in the relationship. So I've never opened up too much. Like there are times like we definitely open up, and because we've all lived together and so when we grew up together, we've definitely opened up. But that's all when we were much younger. I don't think they know who I am now, like what I've become over the many centuries. And I think, my brother was actually surprised that I'm a lot more, I don't know what the right word is. Switched on? No, not switched on. Capable? Capable might not be the word because nothing has happened yet. But how could I say this? He definitely, I'm sure he could feel it. He felt that there was a sense of responsibility about me. And with responsibility, that of course, in a way, can equate to power. So he did see like, wow, I am at this level of being responsible, which means there's a lot of power that can be behind me. And I'm sure he understood that. I think that's why, he was growing more confident in me the more I explained what was happening or what the plan is for this enterprise. So that was cool. I felt I connected with my brother in a different way. And it was cool because we eventually got to talk, whether he liked it or not, we got to talk some real philosophical things. And I don't know if we've connected in that way before, but, I'm a philosopher, so I enjoyed that part. And it's cool that he probably realized, wow, I can actually talk some deep philosophical things with Dan as well. So that was awesome. But yeah, he's willing to help me bear the brunt of the burden, or at least, help me in getting this lease signed, which is cool. We're going to work out how it's going to go. I asked the real estate agent for the application so me and my brother can go through it, and so we can, figure out the strategy we need to approach this and engage in this application. Because of course, this is what I want. He did suggest, why don't you find a different place? And he suggested me, like different ideas, definitely cheaper possibilities, something that might be, let's say cheaper, more reasonable and safer in a contract, not locking myself into like such a big commitment. But I told him, this is the place I want. I didn't want to say it in this way in case he would lose trust in me. But for some people out there, they'll understand what I mean when I say I'm trusting my intuition, and my intuition is telling me, get that place. Uh, you know, other people will call it the gut feeling. My gut feeling is telling me, no, this is the place. Don't worry about anything else. He was making a good suggestion, and it was like, oh yeah, maybe I could look for example, hook up with someone that owns a bigger property, and then they might not need their garage, and use their garage and just pay them a bit for that. And I've got like a cheaper, more free workspace that I don't have to like sign any big legal leases for, which is cool, but that's not the way I want to go about it. I want to tackle what's in front of me. I don't want to step around and look for an easier battle. This is the battle I want to engage in. This is the challenge that I want to engage and overcome. I see what it is I want, and I saw the obstacles in front of me, so I want to overcome these obstacles, and I will make a way to get to the top of this hill. And I told my brother that, and he was a bit, there's a better way, or like there's a cheaper way to go about it. But at the same time, I think he respected that I was firm about what I wanted to do, because I am firm. I know he has suggestions and stuff, but I told him no. I want to get this place. This is the one I want. My passion started when I saw that this place was available. This place, just seeing what was offered, that is what ignited the passion of me finally engaging and deciding that, yes, I will fulfill, create, I will create, fulfill, and enjoy this journey of this enterprise. So yeah, we had a bit of a talk, got him a bit more confident, and then we said we'd talk to another brother of ours to see if he would like to maybe join, or what his thoughts are on it, because this other brother is good with businesses and such as well, good with finances, so he'll probably be aware of things that we might not. The way I see it, more support to help me on my journey, because in the end, I'm the one that needs to take the lead, and I am taking the lead, and I want them to remember that as well. I think part of it is, they're my elder brothers, so they always feel like, oh, we should always look after Dan, make sure he's okay, blah blah blah. But I want them to understand that I'm taking the lead here. Please just have my back. I think that's what the brother I was talking to today, that's what he was kind of trying to understand. He wasn't really aware of it, but he was protecting me as my elder brother. But I think he also knew, like, hey, like he couldn't figure it out completely at the start, that he was trying to protect me, but that he knew that I was taking the lead, and that he should let me take the lead. But I think he'll come to his senses, like, hey, Daniel's actually taking the lead here, because in the end, this is my project, this is my enterprise, and I'm the only one that should actually be responsible. He doesn't need to be responsible. I want them to remember that. I want my brother to remember that. Like, I want his help, but I don't want him to feel like he's responsible. He is my older brother, so he's always going to have that kind of protective sense about him. But at the same time, he needs to also understand that this is something that I'm trying to do, and that he should let me bear the responsibility. I think in life, a lot of us, we go through this sort of, let's just say, relationship ordeal where there's someone we're used to nurturing and looking after, especially in terms of, like, the old school classic tradition of someone's older, so they usually look after the younger one. I'll be honest, I go through it all the time because I have so many of my people from my community that I look after, especially because I'm the elder of my community. And I always treat them with this way where it's like, hey, make sure you're aware of this and all that. And I'm always trying to protect them, but I always remind myself, like, hey, let them grow, let them go through everything, and let them grow. And I'm hoping my brothers will eventually figure out that with me. Let me grow. Let me bear the burdens and the responsibility. Let me pull the weight that I should be pulling. Because I know when I look after so many people in my community, I look out for them, I pass them wisdom when they need it. I know in the end, they need to be the ones to pull the weight. It can't be me, because it'll drain me too much. I've got so many people that, I'm an elder to. I can't be pulling all their weight. I would be drained and stressed. And I'll be honest, I've been in those positions where I've been drained and stressed because I've been taking on too much. But, that all gets overcome with experience. And I've experienced that enough to know what I should be handling and what I know everyone else should be handling. I think, if anything, this is a good learning process for my brothers as well, to kind of, just let me bear this burden. I don't know. This is kind of the ordeal that I sensed, that I picked up. And of course, there's also the ordeal of, like, oh shit, like, if I put myself in this contract too, what if something, whether it was a mistake I made or just, a sudden catastrophe just happened out of nowhere, like an unpredictable catastrophe. A tower moment, some of us call. If a tower moment happens where the tower just crumbles out of nowhere because lightning strikes it, what am I going to do there? How am I going to look after everything when things fall? Can I really handle that responsibility? Whether I can handle it or not, which I know I can, because I have to, because I swore that I would take responsibility, they're a bit worried. But I swore myself to this responsibility, to this enterprise. This is my enterprise, so I have to bear the burden. And if this ship is sinking, the captain goes down with it. This captain is not going to go down there. This captain will get this ship back up and sailing and thriving through these waters. Sadly, our other brother, we couldn't get in touch with because he was busy, but I will have a talk with the other brother tomorrow and, fill him in on, like, pretty much what I filled in the first brother with. Because the first brother did have a brief chat with the other brother. So, yeah, brother A had a chat with brother B about what I proposed. But, of course, brother B knows that it's better that he and I talk so he gets the real understanding of what I'm about to approach. And it seems like brother B is willing to assist me as well, which is cool. It's nice to have my brothers want to support me with something, because our relationships always haven't been as strong. And no, it's not that they're not strong. Let's just say we've never had that many experiences to really grow through something together, if that makes sense. What's a good way to explain it? See, me and my brotherhood, which is actually like, me and all my comrades, we've been through so many ordeals together where when we look at each other, we embrace each other because we know, hey, I matured with you. We went through the same ordeals together and we matured together. We helped each other overcome those obstacles. Because, the experiences like that, that's what really brings people closer together, when you overcome adversity together. And me and my brothers, we've overcome, the adversities of just life in general together, but like never like a specific task or anything. And I feel like this enterprise that I'm going to go through, because I'm not as well equipped as them, it's gonna be something we're gonna go through together. Like they'll be happy to support me. As the elders, I think they'll be proud knowing that they gave me a hand. And I will feel proud knowing that I asked people that I should trust. I know everyone always talks about family, you can't always rely on your family, blah, 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 blah. But that's just everyone else. That's just how do I say this? That's just the weakness that everyone else defaults on. I believe in more than that. I believe that at least these two, they will show everyone that, blood is thicker than water, and that this bond that we have will mean something. I will show the world as well that even friends can be trusted. Everyone can be trusted. Everyone cannot be trusted at the same time, but I am someone that brings people together. I'm an elder of my community. I bring many people in my community together. I get people working together. I bring up people. I uplift their spirits. I've overcome many things that most would not be able to, that most of the lambs out there couldn't believe like has happened, and I've survived it, and I've overcome all that, and I've made miracles happen. I've gone against the grain. I'm quite the unorthodox kind of guy, but I don't know, it's just the way I've always been. I don't like to just follow suit and everyone's like, oh nah, don't do that, that's not good, or like, oh, everyone likes this, so do this. No, I like to do things the way that I believe are better, because not everything that everyone says is something I agree on. Sometimes I believe in something more. And like with my brothers, my comrades, and especially myself, I believe in more. I will talk to my other brother tomorrow. We'll see what he can assist me with. I will continue constructing this business plan. I will come up with more tactics and strategies of how to get this enterprise on its road of absolute growth, and the story will continue. And I hope I get some help from the princess too, and other people, other bannermen that wish to join me in this crusade, because it seems my brothers are there, the princess is there. Oh, and one of the comrades as well today, he's gonna join me. Until then, everyone take care.